Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be reviewing Supergirl Lois 2x13 titled All Is Lost. I'm on my full review of it. If you enjoy the video, hit that down below, subscribe for new, notifications on. Let's get right into the review. So, it opened up with 5 years as a flashback in the past, 5 years ago, with Allie talking to her followers about her life and the inverse method, which is what's happening now, her whole plan's coming together. Lucy got her, then we go to Lucy, and she got her book signed by Allie. This is how they met. And Lucy's bringing up how she was abandoned by her family and all that. Allie pounced on that to where they're at now. Some of Allie's followers, which it goes to present day, by the way, some of Allie's followers believe Allie is gone because it's been a month. Lucy doesn't want to believe it. She still thinks that Allie's alive, that they're all emerging. They don't know if it happened, but they're assuming it did. Nonetheless, it goes to Clark, and Clark wants to go back to the Bizarro world to see if Allie's there, because we don't know. It's a full, what the hell is happening here with Allie. Lois convinces him to stay because his powers are drained over there, and she could easily take his powers like he did, nearly did to both of them on their last encounter. So Clark decided to stay and just be with the boys for a bit. Lois goes to track down Lucy with Sam, or says she's going to. Clark and Lois haven't told the boys about staying away from Lana and her family yet, which is what Lucy wanted at the end of 212. John thinks Allie can drain not only powers, but also life itself. It doesn't just need to be from a superhuman like Clark or Taro. It can be from anyone. And even if they don't have powers, they would get their life drained as well. Even from like Superman, you can get his life drained from as well. So, John's assuming that. We find out later in the episode if that's actually going to happen or not. He was working on his suit, trying to pull the schematics for his own suit, and found Nat's suit as well, which he didn't want him finding out right away until it was fully done, which it was, we found out. Lana finds out about Sarah's performance, which again we got at the end of 212, and where it took place at that bar where Kyle met Tanya, who he cheated on Lana with. So Lana was pissed off about that. Clark tells the boys they need to stay away from the Cushington family, which they're upset about. And then Clark wanted the boys to help them do chores around the farm because he loved doing that with his dad when he was a kid. Then it goes to the Bizarro world, and the Bizarro version is just Sam and Lois are in hiding out under that bunker on the camp farm that we saw in that one Bizarro episode. I don't remember what episode it was. Allie is making a statement across the entire world, and she said that she's still going on with her plane even though the plans are destroyed. Now, she didn't publicly admit the plans are destroyed, because why would you admit that? When your plane just went, 50 different directions, you wouldn't admit that. You would make everyone believe your plane's still ongoing, no matter what. You wouldn't say there was a flaw in it, especially when you're a dictator like that. But yeah, that she's still planning on doing it somehow, which we find out later in the episode how. John finds a suit that Nat made, and it's now fully done. John wanted to destroy the suit to protect her, because obviously she's a 15-year-old kid. I mean, 15-year-olds shouldn't really be suiting up, unless they have powers like Jordan. Which I don't know how old Jordan, I'm assuming the same age. They go to the same school, they're in the same classes, But nonetheless, Sam and Lois tell us the truth, but she doesn't believe it at all about Allie and all this crap. Clark tells Jonathan that there's still time to make things right. Jordan went to go see Lana. Lana mentions that Sarah could never be safe if Jordan's a part of her life, and that not even Superman can keep everyone safe. I already brought this up in my review, my promo breakdown that I did last night, but I really don't agree with Lana on that. I mean, Jordan is not Superman. He's not in the field 24/7. Does he have powers? Yes. Did Sarah get kidnapped once because of Jordan? Yes, but nonetheless, which Lana did bring up, but if you really look at it, if Jordan is in Sarah's life and she knows that he has powers, he can prevent that. The whole reason Sarah got kidnapped in the first place, well, was because Jordan had powers. If she knew that, Jordan could have protected Sarah. It wouldn't have been a mind-blowing thing to Sarah. He could have saved her before things went 100 different directions. It could have worked. But it didn't. Because of that. So Lana's argument is really just not valid. It makes no sense. If you really think about it that way, I mean, I'm not thinking about Lana's perspective, but from Jordan's, it makes sense. You can protect her by telling her that you have powers you would do that. I mean, it makes sense. Whatever. Nonetheless, Lana pushed Jordan to stay away, and then he left upset. Then it goes back to 5 years in the past with Lucy and Allie. Lucy got an apartment because of Allie. Then it goes back to present day. Lucy wants nothing to do with Sam or Lois. She's done with them. Clark goes to see Jordan in Smallville and takes him to a place where Jordan will more likely forget about Sarah for a bit to continue training. Sarah tells Kyle that Lana knows about where she's staying at and that Lana's annoyed at it or pissed off on some level. Lois is trying to get Lucy to turn back, as in get on their side instead of Allie's before she gets hurt or someone else does, which is what she's trying to do the entire season. Allie's back on our world. Lois, Lucy, Sam, and all the flowers that are at that cabin in the woods all see her. She's hovering, flying, just randomly. Clark takes Jordan out into the Arctic to keep training Jordan. And Clark wants to help Jordan master flying like he did out there, which we saw full, and I think 111 we saw it, I'm pretty sure, where Clark was a kid and you just kept him running and he started aging to like what Clark we have now until he started really flying. And they went out to this canyon in the Arctic, and Jordan jumped into it and started flying last second. And he learned to fly. He still needs to learn to stop, which is a funny scene. But that's the most of the scenes I want. I don't want the random kind of a guy in 212. But nonetheless, Allie doesn't need the pen anymore. She is trying to convince Lucy to go with her. Lucy's on board. Surprise, surprise. Allie wants to find Superman so she can drain the rest of his powers. Since he's Superman, he's invulnerable. She takes his powers. He's going to be that way. She is going to be that way. So it would work. It would make sure that she couldn't possibly die from this with all the powers she already has. So then we go to John trying to destroy that suit, and it's made of the same material that Iron Suit is made of, but mixed in with XK, making it pretty much invulnerable. Nothing can get really through it. Then John decides to fold and let Nat somewhat help. Not really go in the field just yet, which changed later in the episode when everyone was in trouble. But he wanted her to walk him through her suit, all the upgrades she did to it. Kyle goes to see Lana. Lana is beating herself up for making all these bad decisions, being mad at Jordan, and just making all these bad decisions left and right. She feels bad about it all, and she's beating herself up. But no offense, but she should be. Lucy said that Jonathan's other side decided to kill Anderson, that Allie didn't push it. Lucy, that was the mark that pushed Lucy over the edge, where she's just done trusting Lois and Sam because she thought they were just brainwashing her like Allie's been to her. And then Lucy threatened to call Superman. And then it went to a commercial and we come back. Jordan still needs to work on his landing, obviously. Allie starts killing Sam, taking his life. Lucy panics and calls the button because she didn't know that Allie would ever do that because she thinks Allie's this perfect person or whatever. Clark goes and starts getting his powers taken. And then the other reporter that Lois works with, I'm forgetting her name for the life, Chrissy, made a call to the DOD, and Irons picked up on it from whatever they call it. And so Nat and John suit up and go. John threw his hammer at Allie. Allie, pretty much just froze it in time and then threw it back at John, and he went flying. And then Allie took off and took all Superman's powers pretty much. And then Nat came in. We saw that he was flatlining and no heartbeat. He was dying. Nat saved his life, but is still unconscious. Nat and John take Clark and Sam and DOD to get help. And then it goes back to a flashback of Lucy and Allie talking about Lois not wanting to believe her for obviously good reasons. Sam woke up. Lucy was there. She finally sees the truth. I'm hoping this sticks for the rest of the season. That Allie is dangerous and blames herself. Clark is undergoing surgery on some level, and it doesn't look good. Clark's powers seem to be at least on some level gone because he's bleeding. Not only that, they managed to get a blood sample because he's Superman and he no longer has powers. Now, how does that make sense? Because he was invulnerable and now he's not. So his powers are either A, heavily weakened because his skin's able to bleed, or his power is completely gone. Now, I don't think his power is completely gone because it wouldn't really be a show. But, because how can he get his powers back? It's not like with the Flash where they could just make another Speed Force and Barry gets his speed back later in the road. It's a whole thing where Clark's powers were in him. They didn't come in from a force of God. They came from him on this world. So if Clark's powers were fully taken, there's really no way Clark can fully get his powers back if he if he keeps, there's no fully way for him to get him back if he fully loses them. Then it goes to Allie talking to Bizarro Lana, aka Superwoman, to tell her to make sure Clark is dead. Because they don't know if he is. They just know that he's about to be if he's not already. And Allie wants to make sure that he fully is before anything else happens. And then Allie is in between the two worlds and start merging them, and the episode ended off there. Now, I called it, and I said it several times. Superman and Lois does not return. Superman and Lois is not on next week. It comes back June 21st, which is the Tuesday after, for 2/14, and 2/15 is June 28th, the day before the Flash season 9 finale, and we'll have those two finales in the same week. That's what it looks like is happening now with those two shows. It was definitely better than 212. I was actually interested in most of the episode. There were some things I was like, whatever, but it was mainly the Lana stuff. I was like, why are you doing this? What's the point? But I am glad that they are saying that Lana is beating herself up and not liking her decisions, instead of it just being Lana's trying to define her decisions that she's made, pushing the Ken family away, being rude to Jordan. I'm glad she's admitting that those weren't the right calls. I just hope they fix that before the end of the season. Would be nice. This last two episodes, but nonetheless, it was a good episode. Which I was kind of hoping it would be. I wasn't 100% sure after 212, but it was a good episode. It was action-packed, which is a lot more than 212 had. It was tense, especially in the ending of the episode, which was a little bit more, but nonetheless, it was a very intense episode. It was a very good episode, so yeah. Let me know in the comments down below your opinions about the episode. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye, guys.